Thank you for joining me today. My name is Ryan Beesmer with the Rawls Group Business Succession Planners, and we are here today to talk about some succession lessons from the public markets. For those of you who aren't familiar with my background, I spent over 5 years as a registered representative for a couple different major brokerage firms in this country and managing stockbrokers. I have a great interest in the stock market. I think one of the things that this really helps is connect the dots on some maybe missteps or lessons that we can draw from these major companies when it comes to family enterprises and family businesses. So I really wanted to talk about how succession can be a major driver of value, but can also be a destroyer of value. And that's kind of the lesson that we're going to talk about today. You know, building value by planning for the future, whether you're at a point where you're thinking about your next phase of life or not, there's tremendous value in business succession. This is something that the big public companies know all about. We've got boards of directors that are in charge of succession committees that help make sure that there's a seamless transition from one CEO to the next, and they invest a lot of time, money, and effort into these processes. You don't have to look far in the past, though, to see examples of serious succession challenges that have diminished the value of what were once great public companies. Bob Iger, if you're not familiar, was the former CEO and current CEO of Disney, left Disney with his handpicked successor, Bob Chapek, at the helm. Chapek barely made it 2 years before the Disney board removed him and brought Iger back to the company. Hardly the lengthy retirement that I imagine Iger and his family were looking forward to when he left the company in the first place. Even in the best scenarios, handing over the reins of an organization can create serious challenges. Imagine not taking any measures to prepare yourself or your successor, or your organization for that matter, for the succession challenges that lie ahead. During the 2 years that Chapek was in charge of Disney, Disney's stock price plummeted. It goes without saying during this time that there were forces outside of the company's control that impacted its ability to drive value. That's the nature of running a business. Any business owner in the world will tell you that. However, these are compounded by some serious missteps of a CEO who misread the moment and fractured critical relationships with politicians, movie stars, and Disney customers alike. Not exactly what Iger had in mind when hand-selecting Chapek to take over the company. While the Disneys of the world have the significant capital and market presence that can be used to navigate turbulent business conditions, many family businesses do not have that benefit. You must be able to adapt to your markets, respond to your clients, and deploy your capital effectively and efficiently in order to succeed. If you make the mistake of not preparing your organization for succession, or as in Disney's case, make a poor choice of your successor, it will not be long before you start to see some of the cracks in the foundation that you've spent your life building. The situation with Disney is not a novel occurrence either. Throughout history, for businesses all over the world, a failure to plan effectively for succession has been a death knell. At the Rawls Group, we recognize this, and it's why we endeavor to highlight these challenges with our clients. We point out the increasing pressure that businesses are exposed to in an ever-shrinking global market, and emphasize that they must find every opportunity to maximize the value their business brings to them and the stakeholders that they support. That's not to say that succession is not without its opportunities. New leadership can reinvigorate an organization and inject some much-needed fresh insight into the mission of the business. It's important to approach succession strategically and intentionally. Successors shouldn't be anointed by virtue of their last name or position in the family, but should earn the right to stand on the shoulders of those who have built the family legacy before them. However, without an honest accounting of their strengths and abilities, it can be hard to know whether someone is capable of succeeding. What we see here at the Rawls Group is that the love of family can either be a boon to successors or a crutch that prevents them from achieving their full potential. Balancing the priorities of a parent and a dedicated business owner is far and away the greatest challenge that our clients endure. However, it is not one that they must face alone. Having seen the pressures of holding a family and business together, the Rawls Group is uniquely positioned to help small businesses navigate some of these changing environments. Visit our website today, seekingsuccession.com, or feel free to reach out directly to schedule a consultation. Thank you, and we'll talk again soon.